Family. It's supposed to be our safe harbor, the one place we can turn when the world turns against us. It's supposed to be about unconditional love, support, and having each other's backs. But in the twisted, dramatic world of Emmerdale, family is often the battlefield where the deepest wounds are inflicted. And tonight, the war between the Sugden brothers reaches a gut-wrenching, make-or-break climax that will have you glued to your screen, holding your breath. Prepare yourselves, because the feud that has been simmering with hatred and resentment is about to take a turn no one saw coming. We're talking about a moment so raw, so desperate, that it could change the landscape of the Sugden family forever. Tonight, the proud, often arrogant Robert Sugden is forced to do the unthinkable. He goes groveling to his brother John and literally begs for his freedom. Let's just take a moment to let that sink in. Robert Sugden, apologizing, begging. The man whose pride is his armor is about to be stripped bare, and it's all happening at the hospital bedside of the very man he put there. This isn't just an apology, this is an act of utter desperation, a last-ditch scramble to avoid the cold, hard reality of a prison cell. A hospital bed, a vicious lie, and a brother's revenge. To truly understand the weight of this moment, we have to rewind to the horrifying events that led us here. Picture this. A bitter argument, years of animosity boiling over, and in a flash of blind rage, Robert viciously attacks John with a heavy wrench. The act itself was shocking, a brutal escalation that crossed a line from which there seems to be no return. Now, as Friday's episode unfolds, we find John recovering in that sterile, impersonal hospital room. The rhythmic beeping of the machines is a stark contrast to the storm of calculated vengeance brewing within him. He's alive, but he's been given the ultimate weapon against his brother. When his concerned husband Aaron and his sister, the ever-loyal Victoria, press him for answers, John doesn't hesitate. He confirms what they already fear. Robert was his attacker. But here's where John shows his true, chilling colors. He doesn't just tell the truth, he twists it. With a performance worthy of an award, he paints a picture of a completely unprovoked attack. He lies, straight-faced, to the two people who matter most, ensuring that Robert is seen not as a man who lost control, but as a monstrous villain. It's a masterful piece of manipulation, turning his victimhood into a golden opportunity for revenge. He's not just hurt, he's plotting. And as he lies there, he holds all the cards. The police are waiting. A statement is all it will take to seal Robert's fate. Yet, in a sliver of what might be mercy or more likely a calculated delay, John hasn't spoken to them yet. And that tiny crack of light is the only hope Robert has left. The peacemaker's plea. Caught in the crossfire of this fraternal war, as always, is Victoria. Her heart is breaking for her family, torn to shreds by the hatred between the two people she loves. She sees the storm clouds gathering, she knows what John is capable of, and she knows that prison is a very real, very terrifying possibility for Robert. In a scene crackling with desperation, she confronts her shamed, cornered brother. She urges him, pleads with him, to do the one thing his ego rebels against. Get down to that hospital, Rob. Forget the feud. Forget the hate. You have to beg him. Beg him not to name you. You can almost hear Robert scoff. Him. Apologize to John, the man he despises with every fiber of his being. It's unthinkable. But as Victoria lays out the stark reality, his freedom, his future, his entire life is hanging by a thread held in John's hand. The horrifying truth begins to sink in. He has no other choice. His pride won't keep him warm in a prison cell. He is well and truly trapped. The longest walk, a brother at the breaking point. And so we witness one of the most powerful walks in recent Emmerdale history. Robert Sugden, his face a mask of shame and fear, making his way through the disinfected corridors of the hospital to his brother's bedside. Every step must feel like a mile. Every beat of his own heart must be a drum reminding him of his failure. When he finally stands before John, the air is thick with a tension you could cut with a knife. The man in the bed, looking frail but with eyes as sharp and cold as steel. The man standing, looking defeated, stripped of all his usual bravado. The words, when they finally come, are choked with a remorse that feels real. I'm an idiot, Robert confesses, the words tasting like ash in his mouth. It's a start. A crack in the armor. He's not just sorry he got caught, he seems genuinely horrified by what he's done, by the monster he became in that moment of rage. Look, he continues, his voice low and desperate. I don't blame you if you never want to be near me again. But hating me enough to get me banged up in prison. I don't see it. He's appealing to a flicker of brotherly connection he hopes still exists, buried deep beneath the years of resentment. That's why I'm begging you. I am begging you to throw me a lifeline here. The devil's bargain. This is the moment. The power has completely shifted. Robert, the attacker, is now the supplicant. John, the victim, is now the judge, jury, and executioner. And a flicker of something, a smug, triumphant satisfaction, crosses his face. He sees his opening. This isn't about justice anymore. This is about leverage. Sensing his absolute power, John lays his terms on the table. And they are more cruel, more personal than Robert could have ever imagined. He doesn't ask for money. He doesn't ask for a public apology. He goes straight for the heart. He orders his arch-rival to drop his all-consuming obsession with winning back Aaron. Your freedom for your heart's desire. Stay out of jail but give up the one person you believe is your soulmate. Can Robert do it? Can he sever the tie to Aaron, the very thing that has been driving his every move, to save his own skin? Can these two brothers, bound by blood and torn apart by hate, actually strike a deal? And even if they do, can a truce built on such fragile, desperate foundations ever truly last? Or is it just a temporary ceasefire in a war that is destined to end in total destruction? This is more than just another episode. This is a watershed moment for the Sivdens, a character-defining confrontation that will have repercussions for months to come. The performances are raw, the stakes are impossibly high, and the emotional fallout will be immense. Don't miss a single heart-stopping second of this monumental conversation. You can see how it all unfolds when Emmerdale airs tonight at 7:30 p.m. on ITV1. Or if you simply can't wait to see Robert on his knees, the episode is streaming right now on ITVX and YouTube. Grab your popcorn, settle in, and prepare for a showdown you won't soon forget.